This couple is a bit strange, seemingly deeply in love, but each harbors their own secrets. The police inspector's skills are remarkable. At the sight of a car thief, he leaps several meters from a high-rise building, effortlessly subduing the thief by swinging a vine midair. His wife, Anita, is even more extraordinary. By day, she is the epitome of a devoted wife, but by night, she transforms into a mysterious vigilante clad in black, fighting injustice and crime. The police station is faced with a challenging case. 18 infants have mysteriously vanished over the past 2 months, leaving the city in a state of fear. As the inspector, the chief, and others analyze the case during a meeting, strange occurrences startle them. A can of soda in front of a police officer contorts inexplicably, while large words appear on a blank sheet of paper in front of the chief. Before they can react, a blackboard in the room spontaneously shatters, startling everyone inside. Suddenly, the door opens and closes on its own. The inspector senses trouble and immediately gives chase, but there's no sign of any suspicious individuals in the station. Meanwhile, the chief finds a note written on the white paper in his hand: "Your son is next." The police quickly mobilize, surrounding the local hospital. The chief's newborn son has been kept in the hospital's nursery since birth, with his wife looking lovingly at their child through the window. In the next moment, something inexplicable happens. The baby and another infant levitate into the air, shattering the window as they soar out of the hospital. When the inspector arrives, the infants are plummeting rapidly. In a moment of crisis, Anita, dressed in black robes, appears. She swiftly throws 2 darts, pinning down a cloth sack. Suddenly, black footprints appear on the wall. Anita throws another dart, staining it with blood, but in the next moment, one infant ascends to the rooftop while the other falls to the ground again. Using a long rope, Anita reels in the falling infant, only to find that the other one has vanished without a trace. She hands the rescued infant to the chief and his wife before vanishing into thin air. The chief is initially relieved, but upon closer inspection, he realizes that the infant in his arms is actually a girl. Anita quickly returns home and answers a call from the inspector, reassuring him of her safety. Meanwhile, Michelle, the kidnapper, emerges from a hidden corner, kicking away a manhole cover and descending into the depths of the underground palace. She cradles the infant and presents it to the evil master. The evil master is pleased with the infant and instructs his minions to arrest the child along with the other 18 infants, awaiting the next total solar eclipse to choose the emperor from among them. It turns out that all 19 infants captured by this group are destined to be emperors. The evil master's intentions are inscrutable, as he seeks to support the ascension of a new emperor. Michelle, who was abducted and raised in the underground palace since childhood, her memories erased by the evil master, has been groomed into an emotionless assassin. The evil master tasks her with infiltrating the professor's side to oversee the completion of the invisibility cloak. The brilliant professor is on the verge of solving the final obstacle of the cloak's fear of sunlight. And Michelle secretly wears the incomplete cloak to steal the infants without being detected. Despite rumors circulating in the city, the professor suspects something but chooses to trust Michelle. He prohibits Michelle from entering the laboratory because the invisibility cloak releases toxins. Poisoned by the cloak, the professor's time is running out. The next day, a group of bandits take hostages and hide in a chemical plant. The thugs are brutal, slaughtering hostages without hesitation. The police are helpless, but at that moment, a motorcycle speeds onto the scene. Maggie is a bounty hunter, usually motivated by money, but this time she acts without payment, flying into the factory on an empty oil drum. Agile and efficient, she rescues all the hostages within moments. Before leaving, Maggie leaves a few words for the chief, demanding 500,000 taels of gold to save his son. The next day, the newspaper published a piece of news. A mysterious figure claimed that babies would go missing from the hospital tonight. The inspector led the team to prepare vigilantly. Anita, under the guise of visiting, hurried to the hospital. She noticed a suspicious man, unaware that he was planning to kill all the babies as revenge against society. Just as the man was about to act, Anita dashed out from a corner, while Michelle dropped the fragments in her hand. Upon facing each other, they both hesitated to make a move, fearing it would expose their identities, so they pretended to be scared and helpless. The man took Michelle hostage and locked them in a storage room. Anita, worried about the baby's safety, attempted to break open the iron door. Although the lintel was knocked open, the key fell to the ground. Unfortunately, the door crack was too narrow, and Anita's hand couldn't reach it. Michelle decided to try and, with a forceful effort, scraped her hand but successfully retrieved the key. Anita was stunned by the scene, while Michelle calmly opened the door and gestured for Anita to leave. Without further thought, Anita quickly informed the inspector. Just as the man was about to strike, he was hit by the inspector, and the police successfully subdued the madman. However, as soon as the two left, Maggie slipped down from the ceiling beams, picked up a baby, and brazenly rode a motorcycle out of the hospital. Shaking off the police, Maggie looked up and saw Anita wearing a mask, transformed into a heroine, watching her from the rooftop. Maggie was delighted to see her bait taken. The two met in the ruins on the outskirts of the city, where Anita demanded she hand over the baby. Without a word, Maggie raised her hand and fired a shot. Anita threw a dart, deflecting the first bullet, and aiming the second one directly at Maggie's face. Maggie quickly rotated her dagger to block the dart. While Anita drew her sword and engaged in close combat, Maggie's kung fu was formidable, but now she faced the heroine Anita. Anita had the upper hand, but suddenly mysterious footprints appeared, catching her off guard. The newcomer, wearing an invisible cloak, was Michelle. Unable to see her opponent, Anita kicked a nearby water bucket to locate Michelle and engaged her in combat. Equally matched, they fought fiercely, causing the dilapidated house to collapse. Amidst the chaos, Michelle and Maggie escaped, leaving Anita to rescue the baby. Unfortunately, it was too late, and the baby succumbed to its injuries from the iron nails on the ground. Anita rushed back to the hospital with the baby, but her condition worsened due to excessive blood loss, and she couldn't be saved. Michelle took off her invisibility cloak and met Maggie. It had been over a decade since they last saw each other. Back then, Maggie managed to regain her senses and escape from the evil master's palace. The evil master ordered Michelle to kill her, but Michelle, showing mercy, let Maggie go. Michelle revealed the evil master's entire plan to Maggie and warned her not to get involved. Despite Maggie accepting the money and feeling pity for the children, she ultimately decided to take the risk and infiltrate the palace. She distracted the guards with flying birds and cautiously entered the depths of the palace, where she saw several cages connected, each containing a baby. With a light touch, Maggie triggered a mechanism, causing the evil master to suddenly rise. 3 silver needles shot out, continuously bouncing and piercing Maggie's arm. Realizing the plan had been exposed, the evil master issued a death order, instructing Michelle to kill Professor within 10 days and seize the invisibility cloak. With the poison needle in her body, Maggie's time was running out. Anita found Maggie and asked for information. She also helped temporarily resist the toxin from invading Maggie's brain. Maggie then promised to help rescue the babies, but only to confront the evil master, knowing they needed Michelle's help. Later, the evil master sent assassins after Anita. This ruthless assassin continuously slaughtered hostages to force Anita to show herself. When Anita arrived at the station, the inspector was pinned down by a landmine. He instructed Anita to go to the station and rescue the hostages. With a loud bang, the inspector narrowly avoided the explosion but was severely injured and unconscious. A motorcycle raced into the station, bouncing off the walls and rushing towards the assassin. Suddenly, the assassin exerted force and tore apart the motorcycle. Anita drew her soft sword to fight, but the station's control system was destroyed. It wouldn't be long before the train crashed into the station. Anita's attacks forced the assassin to block the train, allowing Maggie to throw a bomb, taking down the assassin. Anita visited her husband in the hospital, who already knew that the heroine was his wife. Instead of probing further, he chose to support Anita's decision, and they confided in each other. Meanwhile, Michelle also learned that Professor prevented her from entering the lab to protect her from the toxin. Seeing Professor's miserable state, Michelle was heartbroken. She arrived at the entrance of the underground palace and found Maggie there. Without hesitation, she used a dagger to extract the poison needle from Maggie. She remained unmoved by Maggie's persuasion. Turning around, she jumped into the underground palace and pleaded with the evil master for a few more days. However, the evil master ordered that regardless of success or failure, the invisibility cloak must be obtained by tomorrow. He would assist the true emperor in ascending the throne. Michelle, in a daze, left the underground palace, haunted by the evil master's orders. She found Maggie and immediately engaged in a fierce fight without a word. The two clashed fiercely at the stable, with Maggie throwing knives straight at Michelle's face. Suddenly, Anita appeared and intercepted the flying knives. Anita could see that Michelle had no intention of fighting and was tired of the evil master's control, merely seeking death. They both chased after Michelle, trying to persuade her to give up thoughts of suicide. In the midst of it, Anita saved Michelle, but they both fell off a cliff due to the momentum. At that moment, Michelle noticed a tattoo on Anita's arm and memories flooded back. It turned out that they had known each other since childhood, and Michelle, after failing her trial, was sent down the mountain by their master. The farewell from years ago had become a nightmare they couldn't let go of, and now they recognized each other as sisters. However, when they rushed back to the laboratory, Professor was already on the brink of death from the assassin's torment. Using the invisibility cloak to distract the assassin's attention, Michelle managed to rescue Professor. Anita once again fought the assassin, but the assassin, seemingly invincible and devoid of pain, was like a war machine. Maggie had a clever idea and lured the assassin into a furnace. Thus, the seemingly invincible assassin was lured to his death by the three of them, and the professor, who had little time left, quietly passed away in front of Michelle. Anita and Maggie broke into the underground palace to rescue the babies, but they not only had to deal with the enigmatic evil master but also with the underground methane gas. Maggie tried to take the initiative by pulling the trigger, but the evil master's luck stopped the bullets. Maggie switched targets to deal with the minions while Anita fought the evil master with her soft sword. However, being on enemy territory took its toll. The evil master grabbed the ammunition from Maggie's body and used his chi to turn the bullets into a machine gun-like barrage. Luckily, Michelle intervened in time to block the bullets, and then the three of them escaped from the palace. They threw explosives into the well, causing the methane gas to explode. The evil master emerged from the palace, and the three of them fought desperately on the streets. The evil master used his magic to lift the three of them into the air. He knocked Michelle away with a single blow and then grabbed Anita and Maggie by the necks. Maggie stuffed a bomb into his pocket, which exploded, causing them to fall to the ground. They thought it was all over, but to their surprise, the evil master continued to move freely even after turning into a skeleton. He attached himself to Michelle like an exoskeleton and controlled her to fight against the two. Overwhelmed, Michelle didn't want to hurt them and leaped out of a high-rise building. During the fall, the evil master's brain rapidly overheated from years of desire, causing it to explode. Anita grabbed Michelle just in time, saving her life. In the end, the three of them walked away from the ordeal. And thus, the legend of the Eastern Trio spread throughout the city.